operation was it? Is that into risk at all, by the way? Because they did. Ike risked it all on the night of June 5th.
He really did. He rolled the dice. You'll find in To Risk It All, it's more of a story about naval characters. So it's John Paul Jones, Stephen Decatur, going up through Lloyd Booker in the Korean War. Looks at a lot of naval cases. If I had allowed a general to creep into it, it would have been Dwight Eisenhower.
I was interested. I want to get to the Russian battalion getting wiped out, but I have been reading about Churchill wanting to go ashore on board during Normandy. And the First Lord of the Admiralty said, not now, not ever, never are we letting the Prime Minister get within shelling range of Normandy because we kind of expect the Germans to shoot back. So there's somebody in the channel who's running that operation. It isn't Ike. He's an Army guy.
Right, correct. There's a naval commander back to combined arms. There's going to be a naval commander, an air commander, special forces commander, and of course, ground commanders across the board. But it would have been crazy to let Churchill get inside of range of a bullet, just like it would be crazy for Zelensky to go down and pick up a Stinger or a Javelin. No thanks. We got other jobs for you, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, as the case may be.
Well, I'm looking forward to Risk It All is my Memorial Day weekend. Then we're going to have a conversation with the Admiral about his new book, which debuts on May 24th, but you can order it at Amazon now. Let's go to this story from the Times of London, Admiral, and I referred to it earlier this morning. Russian battalion wiped out trying to cross River of Death. Ukrainians saw it, they spotted it, they followed it with drones, and they hit 50 vehicles with precision munitions. Now, my friend General Spees, retired United States Marine Corps, tells me we have Excaliburs that can drop an artillery shell on a moving target from hundreds of miles away. I didn't know that. Apparently, crossing a river is not going to be an option very much longer in Ukraine.
Yeah, anytime a land unit has to encounter a terrain obstacle like that, they have to slow down, they have to get organized, they have to maneuver, and they become vulnerable. And we've seen this again and again. And, the River of Death is merely an echo of the Highway of Death that we can recall from Persian Gulf One. And whenever units get choked down like that, boy, they become big, fat, juicy targets. And in today's world, with the precision guided, with the drones, with the long range fires, with the special forces, boy, they are really targetable.
Admiral, I talked to Governor Ducey this week about Raytheon, which makes missiles in Arizona and other places. My takeaway as a civilian, and I really have no claim to expertise, is that we better be building a whole bunch of missiles of a different sort. And he said, we're building them in Arizona. You're the Admiral. You're the former NATO chief. You're studying this thing as a strategist. What are your takeaways thus far 3 months into this war?
Logistics and mass matter. And so the faster we can move the logistics and put the tools of war in the hands of the Ukrainians, the better the chances they have. You've heard me say it before, but, in the world of the military, we always say, yeah, strategy is important, but it's kind of the amateurs debate the strategy. The professionals are looking at logistics. So point one, and Russians, terrible. The West, NATO, excellent. That's been a big advantage for the Ukrainians. Number two, more importantly, leadership matters. So if you're a Ukrainian on the front lines, you turn over your shoulder, you're motivated. Back there are your children. Back there is your spouse. Back there are your elders, your cities, your civilization, your language. All of that matters deeply, and it's highly motivating. And good leaders like Zelensky and his generals are able to tap into that. Conversely, the Russians look over their shoulder, and who do they see? They see, a general who just blew up mysteriously when he tried to place a cell phone call. They see Vladimir Putin and the long hand of Putin reaching out from the Kremlin to push them forward in a war they can't even understand. So point two is leadership matters. And third, what we just talked about, Hugh, technology matters, and it's mattering a lot on this battlefield. And we are seeing instances not only ashore, as you and I just discussed, but out at sea as well, where the Neptune missile, relatively inexpensive, shore to ship, takes out the Moskva, the flagship of the Black Sea, puts 500 sailors floating or dead. That's a big, bad trade-off for the Russians. So I'd say logistics, leadership, technology are the three big takeaways, none especially surprising, but boy, are you seeing a case study in their importance today.
Now, Admiral, I could talk to you all hour about this next question, and I'm sorry if it's the 15th time you've been asked it by a media person. NATO is about to expand to Finland and Sweden. You were the Allied Supreme Commander of NATO. Are you going like this? Hooray, we got the Finns in? Or are you saying, oh my God, the Finnish border with Russia expands my theater of operations by 50%?
It is two thumbs up, and if I had other thumbs to offer, I would make them. We have got to get the Finns and the Swedes into NATO. That big border is a tactical and strategic advantage for NATO. It allows us to move our bases, our troops, our jets up into that northern flank. It gives us real purchase into the Arctic. It is a very significant chunk of real estate. We want it. So geography matters. Number two, these are warfighting nations. Combined, their defense budget is around $15 billion. That's about a fourth of the Russian defense budget. So we're adding real money and resources. And then finally, Hugh, the Finns have a big army. They have the largest number of artillery pieces in Europe. They have 1 million reserves and 280,000 combat-capable, well-trained soldiers. I've had Finns and Swedes under my command in Afghanistan, in Libya, in the Balkans. These are military forces that have high capability. And over on the Swedish side, they are highly technically capable. You know, if you can build a Volvo, you can build anything, right? And so they build their own fighters, the Gripen. It's a superb airplane, kind of like a Hornet, like some of the great Navy people we know fly. It's got the Swedes also they build submarines. I mean,
That's what I thought so, yeah. So how big is the naval element of these two countries, and are they integrated with NATO already?
It is sizable, and they are integrated. In terms of number of capable warships, it's in the dozens, and they're focused on a relatively small maritime battle space, right? The Baltic Sea, and to some degree up in the Arctic. So in terms of number of ships for geographic area, highly capable, both of them. They operate alongside us. When we do Baltic operations exercise every year, typically the Finns and the Swedes come out to play. Real capability in the air, on the land, and absolutely at sea. Nothing for NATO.
How quickly, as a Supreme Commander, would you integrate Finn and Swede generals and admirals into your command structure? How quickly does that follow?
It'll happen almost instantly, and there's a funny expression for this. It's called Star Wars, as in the number of stars you have on your shoulder. Each nation really wants those positions, so you have real competition. And I would, if I were Supreme Allied Commander, looking at those two nations come in, I'd say, look, I've got to have a Swedish 2-star, a Finnish 1-star. I want them on my staff. I want one up in our command structure in the north. You might even see a 3-star Finn or Swede come in. Those Star Wars are grinding already, I guarantee it.
Last quick question for the people who are driving the Pentagon early inside the Beltway. Does that billet become one that any soldier, sailor, airman, Marine wants to be up stationed in Finland and Sweden?
Oh, God, do you think? These are wonderful places. The people are lovely. I've been to Helsinki. I've been to Stockholm so many times. Let me tell you, if they ask to come in on Wednesday, we ought to bring them in on Friday. They're that good, and yes. Sign me up.
There you go, Admiral.
Back on.
We've been talking a long time. I don't think I ever got a "do you think" before out of Admiral James Stavridis. That's very funny. The new book, To Risk It All, is coming out. You know, if you want to talk about NATO expansion, anyone in the world, you might want to call up Admiral James Stavridis. He kind of knows what he's talking about. Thank you, Admiral. I'll be right back, America. On a Friday, we bring you the best guests with the best insight because they actually know what they're talking about on The Hugh Hewitt Show.
The Hugh Hewitt Show is now available on TV. Go to Salem News.